In the depths of the universe where stars shine for eternity, in this mysterious darkness, there is one star that has astonished scientists. Its name is Kepler Input Catalog 8462852, but the world knows it as Tabby star. This star is 1,470 light years away from our Earth. Shining in the Cygnus constellation, it has remained in the spotlight because of its strange behavior. Everyone was amazed to see it. After all, how can a star dim by up to 22% and then suddenly start shining again? All this happens so irregularly that scientists had no solid answer for it. But the most mysterious thing about it was the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. No one knows why this star began receiving so much attention. Does V know something about this star that she's hiding from all of us? Today, I'm going to tell you the strangest story of search for extraterrestrial intelligence so far. A story that will take you into the world of stars, and then you will have only one question in your mind: are we really alone in this universe? The story of Tabby star began in 2015 when National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Kepler Space Telescope detected the extremely strange behavior of this star. Citizen scientists from the Planet Hunters project saw something in this star's light curve that was nothing like any ordinary star. It was as if some huge object was passing in front of it. But what exactly was that object? This was something that made scientists stop and think. Was it just dust, or was it something that could possibly be alien? Tabby star, also known as Boyajian star or the Where's the Flux star, which stands for Where's the Flux. It's an F-type main sequence star which is a bit bigger and hotter than our sun. It's located in the Cygnus constellation at a distance of 1,470 light years. This happened in 2015. Astronomer Tabitha Boyajian and her team analyzed Kepler's data and found that the brightness of this star was decreasing irregularly and unusually. Some dips were so large that they couldn't have been caused by any planet, because even if giant planets pass in front of the sun's light, they can only reduce its brightness by up to 1%. So then, what exactly is present around Tabby star that's dimming its light so much? At that time, it had become like a mystery. But scientists searched for many possibilities for it. Maybe it was a swarm of comets passing in front of that star. Or maybe it could be some interstellar dust that was coming between the Earth and the star. Or maybe it was the star's own internal fluctuation. But none of these theories were fitting completely. And then a suggestion came up that grabbed the attention of the whole world. Could this be some kind of alien megastructure? A Dyson swarm, a massive structure built by an advanced civilization to harness the energy of its star. This theory made Tabby's star famous overnight. But then search for extraterrestrial intelligence's reaction deepened the mystery even further. When news of Tabby's star reached the scientific community, search for extraterrestrial intelligence quickly aimed its Allen telescope array at it. They were searching for radio signals that might be coming from an intelligent civilization, but they didn't find anything. Still, search for extraterrestrial intelligence kept their eyes on this star. In 2016, when the star's brightness started to dim again, search for extraterrestrial intelligence scientists began to investigate it more deeply. If this is just a normal star, then why is it getting so much attention? Did search for extraterrestrial intelligence have some suspicion that they weren't telling the world about? Some people said that maybe search for extraterrestrial intelligence had received a signal that they didn't want to make public. If this really was some kind of alien megastructure, then this discovery could change our understanding of the universe forever. But search for extraterrestrial intelligence or silence was only deepening this mystery. The biggest puzzle of Tabby's star was the irregular dips in its brightness. These dips were neither regular nor did they have any fixed pattern. Sometimes it dimmed to 22%, other times just to 0.3%, sometimes it would stay dim for several days, and sometimes it would suddenly start shining. In 2017, astronomers observed that these dips were also different at different wavelengths, more in ultraviolet and less in infrared. This meant that whatever was blocking the star's light wasn't opaque like a planet or a megastructure. Instead, it was like some kind of dust. Scientists were now reaching a conclusion, but where exactly was this dust coming from? Some scientists believe that maybe this could be circumstellar dust, which is orbiting around the star. But there were several problems with this theory as well. There is high radiation pressure around the star. It's so strong that it would quickly blow away any such dust. So where is such a large amount of dust constantly coming from, and how is this dust able to sustain itself? Why is it so irregular? If this was interstellar dust, then why didn't we see infrared emissions, which we usually observe when looking at dust? Other scientists also suggested it could be a group of comets. But if it was dust from comets that we saw, then how could such a large cluster of comets have formed? Or maybe it was a brown dwarf with a large ring system passing in front of this star. But even here, no theory was fitting, and although the idea of an alien megastructure was unlikely, it was still stuck in people's minds. When no theory could fully explain Tabby's star's dimming, one idea caught the world's attention. Could this be an alien megastructure? In 1960, physicist Freeman Dyson proposed a theory that an advanced civilization could build massive structures to harness the energy of its star, like a massive swarm of solar panels known as a Dyson swarm. Was the dimming of Tabby's star caused by some such structure? This idea was so exciting that search for extraterrestrial intelligence took it seriously. Astronomer Jason Wright suggested in 2015 that the dimming of Tabby's star could be due to a partially constructed Dyson swarm. Search for extraterrestrial intelligence intensified its radio and optical observations. Search for extraterrestrial intelligence also searched for those narrow-band radio signals that could indicate the presence of an intelligent civilization here. But no signal was found. Search for extraterrestrial intelligence is intense focus on Tabby's star was itself a mystery. Usually, search for extraterrestrial intelligence examines any star, and if it doesn't find anything, it moves on. But that didn't happen with Tabby's star. When the dimming of the star was observed again in 2017 and 2018, search for extraterrestrial intelligence kept its eyes on it. They monitored this star with the Green Bank telescope and other observatories. But every time, the result was the same. No radio signal, no laser pulse, no evidence. But still, search for extraterrestrial intelligence as persistence raised the question, were they looking for something that was not normal at all? Some people said that maybe search for extraterrestrial intelligence had received a signal, but it was so strange that it was difficult to understand. Maybe that signal was so complex that our technology couldn't decode it. Or maybe search for extraterrestrial intelligence saw something so disturbing that they wanted to be completely sure about it before bringing it to the world. We're not saying this is some kind of conspiracy, but when so much attention is given to a star and still no clear answers are found, questions naturally arise. Is there really something out there that might be beyond our understanding? The story of Tabby's star brought us to a point where science and mystery come together. Everything that has happened so far has kept the mystery of this star alive forever, but now this mystery was about to be revealed. As scientists gathered more data, the picture of the star in this mystery started to become much clearer to us. In 2018 and 2019, Tabitha and her team analyzed Las Cumbres observatory data. They found that the dimming was different at different wavelengths, and this pointed towards circumstellar dust. By 2020, the scientists had further strengthened this theory. They suggested that this dust was probably formed from the collision of an asteroid or a comet. Maybe a huge asteroid broke up into fine pieces, which is now orbiting around the star, or perhaps an exomoon broke apart and started orbiting this star. The lack of infrared emissions also supported this theory because the amount of dust was so low that it wasn't emitting much infrared radiation. All these discoveries were pointing towards one thing. Tabby star's dimming was caused by natural dust, not an alien megastructure. Some people believe that Tabby star's dimming was so unique that it was a perfect test case for search for extraterrestrial intelligence. If there really was an alien civilization there, this would have been the biggest opportunity to discover them. But some people still question whether search for extraterrestrial intelligence actually found something there that they don't want to make public. Otherwise, search for extraterrestrial intelligence had never been as interested in any other star. We're not saying that search for extraterrestrial intelligence is hiding something, but their silence and repeated investigations do raise questions. If it was just dust, then why was so much time and resources spent on it? But these questions remained unanswered. The story of Tabby star is not just about the dimming of a star, it's also the story of our own curiosity. The curiosity that compels us to look up at the stars. Why do we search after all? Because we want to know if we are alone in this universe. Because we want to understand where our place is in this infinite space. The mystery of Tabby star has now mostly been solved. Asteroid dust or exomoons, these natural causes explain its dimming. The idea of an alien megastructure was really exciting, but now it's just a scientific footnote. But still, this story teaches us a lot. It shows us how powerful our curiosity is. Every time we look at a star, we search for a new possibility. And every time we don't find answers, we pursue the search with even more courage. Holding endless mysteries within. Our space is not as calm as it appears from afar. Every single particle and every single star present here has its own unique significance. Those small shining stars that we see in the distant sky at night are actually nothing less than a threat to our Earth. Even the smallest star that breaks apart in space has the power to turn any planet into dust because of its supernova explosion. But what would happen if the closest and largest star to Earth were to break apart? Yes, we are talking about it. It's 650 light years away from Earth. Betelgeuse is the red supergiant star at that distance. It's greater than the Sun in every aspect: age, size, and temperature. This star is continuously moving toward its destruction, so if it explodes, what will happen to our Earth? So let's learn about one of the largest and brightest stars in our universe, Betelgeuse, which is becoming a threat to our Earth day by day. Betelgeuse is the 10th brightest star in our universe, which is even bigger than the Sun. That's why it's also known as Alpha Orionis. Betelgeuse is a 10 million year old star in our universe, which is about 50 times older than the Sun. Today, Betelgeuse is one of the largest known stars in space with a diameter of over 700 million miles or more than 1.2 billion kilometers. If Betelgeuse were placed at the center of the solar system instead of the Sun, its outer surface would even touch the planet Jupiter. This gives you an idea of the enormity of Betelgeuse, but in recent years, scientists have noticed a decrease in its size. In fact, the bright light and massive size of Betelgeuse are changing rapidly over time. Betelgeuse is losing its mass and its outer layers at a very fast rate. Because of this, its brightness is continuously decreasing and it is becoming more red. Because Betelgeuse has been in space for so many years, the hydrogen fuel in its core has now been completely exhausted. Its helium is continuously turning into carbon, and now it is in the final red giant phase of its life. That means Betelgeuse star's final time has come, and now it is counting its last breaths. According to scientists, Betelgeuse star has entered its pre-supernova phase. Maybe that's why Betelgeuse has been continuously giving signs of its supernova explosion for the past few years. Scientists consider the birth and the massive size of the Betelgeuse star to be the reason behind this major change. According to scientists, the Betelgeuse star was born with this massive size, and in the beginning, it used to be a blue-white O-type star in which a large amount of hydrogen kept burning. Now, from a scientific perspective, the bigger the star is, the brighter it shines and the hotter it is. But then its hydrogen fuel also starts depleting just as quickly, and gradually that star begins to transform into a red giant form. Something similar happened with our Betelgeuse star as well. Due to continuously radiating its energy into space for the past million years, the hydrogen inside it has been depleted. And that's why the Betelgeuse star is now in the red giant stage. The surface temperature must have been astonishingly high, around 89,500 degrees Fahrenheit or 50,000 degrees Celsius. But now this star is not as hot as it used to be. Because its current temperature is only 5,800 degrees Fahrenheit or 3,300 degrees Celsius, which is much cooler compared to the sun, but even then, its brightness is unmatched. The immense size of Betelgeuse and its proximity to Earth make it even more special for our planet. This is the reason why today, with the help of the Hubble Space Telescope and radio telescopes, Betelgeuse can be easily studied from Earth. If you look towards Betelgeuse using any instrument from Earth, instead of a smooth ball of superhot plasma, you will see a lumpy mass of boiling gas bubbles inside it. Those huge piles of hot material are bubbles that rise from the very center of the star all the way to its surface. After cooling, they vanish back into its interior, which sometimes increases up to 0.3 in magnitude, then decreases to about 0.8. But in December 2019, scientists observed that the Betelgeuse star was losing its brightness at a much faster rate, and suddenly it became 2.5 times dimmer compared to before. This change in the Betelgeuse star became known as the Betelgeuse Great Dimming. Not only that, scientists also detected heavy removal of materials from its interior parts, which came out and formed a heavy dust outside. Its 400-day brightness oscillation period has been halved to 200 days. That means the pattern of its brightness decreasing is still continuing. Looking at these behaviors of Betelgeuse, it started to be assumed that this star is about to end soon with a supernova explosion. In fact, when a star consumes all the helium in its core, its red giant form starts burning carbon and oxygen into neon and magnesium. After that, it turns them into silicon, and this transformation causes the star's core to start collapsing from the inside out. This event is known as a core collapse supernova. Supernova explosions are so bright that for a while they outshine the entire galaxy. With today's sensitive telescopes, astronomers can observe these supernova explosions. But for ordinary people like us, it's not possible to see these supernova explosions happening in some mysterious corner of the universe. But Betelgeuse's supernova explosion will be entirely different because it's close to our Earth. Its explosion will be clearly visible even during the day. The supernova explosion of the Betelgeuse star will light up our sky with its brightness for a full 2 months. During this time, there will be such intense brightness on our Earth that even if the electricity of the entire city is cut off at night, there will be no trace of darkness. A similar supernova explosion was also seen in the year 1604, which is also known as the Kepler supernova. It filled the sky with light continuously for 3 weeks. Now, even though the Betelgeuse star has also started on the path to its supernova explosion, it will still take thousands of years for it to explode. Most astronomers believe that the Betelgeuse star is still in the early stages of its supernova explosion. Now it is fusing helium, which is a long process that takes millions of years. That's why it will still take thousands or even millions of years for the Betelgeuse star to explode. That incredible sight is still thousands of years from our view. Yet by examining Betelgeuse's core, it's still a bit difficult to see what the state of helium fusion is there and when Betelgeuse will explode. Let me tell you that the second red giant of the Milky Way, known as VY Gamma, is located in the Canis constellation 3,900 light-years away from our Earth. It is believed that compared to our Betelgeuse, this explosion is actually a bit closer to us. But for the past 100 years, it has been increasing the pace of its process. No one knows when this explosion will occur. Scientists believe that VYCMA could have been seen 100 years ago from today, but because it has lost most of its material, now it is only visible in infrared. VYCMA has lost almost 60% of its original mass, while Betelgeuse still has 95% of its initial material left. That's why many astronomers still consider Betelgeuse's red giant form to be in its early stage, the sky's 10th brightest star. Betelgeuse is easy to find and it can be easily observed even in the most light-polluted cities, which adorns the night sky in both the northern and southern hemispheres during the winter months as part of the Orion constellation. Now, Betelgeuse, located on the shoulder of this constellation, is considered the second brightest star in the Orion constellation. In fact, every single star present in our sky affects life on our Earth. It wouldn't be wrong to say that these stars have played a very big role in the creation of life on our Earth. In such cases, their collapse and events like supernova explosions also have a negative impact on many creatures present on Earth. According to many experts and astronomers, even though Betelgeuse's star is far from its supernova explosion, whenever it happens, it will definitely have an impact on Earth. Well, that's a matter for the future, but do let us know what you think about this topic in the comment section. It's an ordinary day in July 2025, and the eyes of the Gemini North Telescope, built on Hawaii's Mauna Kea volcano, are fixed on the sky. Suddenly, a faint blue glow appears on the computer screen. The scientists are astonished to see this. They had found something that could perhaps be the key to solving a centuries-old mystery. There were many speculations about Betelgeuse that this giant star could soon end in a supernova explosion. Recently, a decline in its brightness was also observed, and we kept waiting. But on this star, nothing happened as we thought. It remained a mystery. But the recent discovery, that brightness, actually, it's from Betelgeuse's companion star, which scientists had almost given up hope of finding. This is a discovery that not only uncovers the mysteries of Betelgeuse, but also changes the story of those stars in the universe that we've created by looking at the stars in the sky. So let's embark today on a mysterious journey of the Betelgeuse star. Betelgeuse, shining in the Orion constellation, is the 10th brightest star in our night sky. It is a red supergiant. Its size is so massive that if it were placed in the position of our Sun, it would engulf the orbits of Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Its diameter is about 760 times larger than our Sun, and it is 87,000 times brighter than the Sun. Just imagine if it were in our solar system, how much more radiation we would have to endure. But its uniqueness is not just its size and brightness. In fact, Betelgeuse is a variable star, which means its brightness keeps changing over time. These changes have remained a mystery for our scientists and astronomers for centuries. The Great Dimming Event of 2019. But then, in 2019, Betelgeuse did something that caught the attention of the whole world. Its brightness suddenly dropped by 30%. This was called the Great Dimming Event. At first, scientists thought that maybe Betelgeuse was at the final stage of its life, and soon it would explode as a supernova. A supernova is so bright that it can shine in our sky at night as brightly as a half moon for months. We waited, and perhaps for the first time we were about to witness a star dying. But nothing happened in 2019, nor in 2020, nor in 2021. Gradually, scientists shifted their focus from the theory of it becoming a supernova to studying it more deeply. So they found out that this dimming was probably caused by a large dust cloud, and maybe this cloud originated from the surface of Betelgeuse itself. This dust cloud blocked the light of the star for some time. National Aeronautics and Space Administration's images showed that this was a kind of stellar burp. That means the star expelled a large amount of gas and dust, which later cooled down and formed a cloud that blocked the light. But this discovery was only answering one question. The Great Dimming of 2019 in Betelgeuse's brightness, there was another long 6-year major cycle, which still remained a mystery for scientists. This cycle couldn't be explained by the star's internal pulsation. So what was the reason behind this mystery after all? At that time, we didn't have any solid evidence for this. But in July 2025, scientists made a discovery that has almost solved the mystery of Betelgeuse with the help of a special instrument called Allopeke. Installed on the Gemini North Telescope, scientists observed a very dim or faintly shining companion star of Betelgeuse, which was named Sivara. If we understand the meaning of the name Betelgeuse in Arabic, it means the arm of Al-Jawza or shoulder of the giant. So the name of this newly discovered companion is Sivara, which means her bracelet or bangle. This name is absolutely perfect for this star because it is orbiting around Betelgeuse like a bracelet. Sivara is 6 magnitudes dimmer than Betelgeuse, which means it is millions of times dimmer than Betelgeuse. Scientists estimate that its mass is about 1.5 to 1.6 times that of our Sun. This is a pre-main sequence star, which means it hasn't started hydrogen fusion yet. You could also call it a stellar baby, which is still in the early stages of the process of becoming a full-fledged star. When it starts hydrogen fusion, it will become an F-type star, which will be brighter and heavier than the Sun. The most surprising thing about Sivara is its strange orbit. It orbits just 4 astronomical units away from the Betelgeuse star. This distance is 4 times that between Earth and the Sun, yet still less than Jupiter's. We've already talked about the size of Betelgeuse. If it were in our solar system, it would extend up to Mars. So you can imagine how far its massive outer atmosphere would stretch. In fact, its companion Sivara is actually orbiting inside Betelgeuse's atmosphere. This is such a strange thing that scientists had never seen before. Every 6 years, Sivara passes close to Betelgeuse and it completely disturbs the star's outer atmosphere. It creates turmoil there, causing gas and dust to be ejected, which sometimes blocks the light. This was why the Great Dimming Event of 2019 happened. Because of Sivara's orbit, a 6-year cycle is observed in Betelgeuse's brightness. This discovery not only explains Betelgeuse's behavior, but also shows how such red supergiant stars behave with their companion stars. It wasn't easy to find Sivara. Betelgeuse is so bright that seeing any dim star near it is next to impossible. Just imagine, this star is 87,000 times brighter than our sun. Even powerful telescopes like the Hubble Space Telescope and Chandra X-ray Observatory couldn't see Betelgeuse's companion star. But a senior research scientist at National Aeronautics and Space Administration, Steve Howell, and his team used a new technique. As it's called speckle imaging. In speckle imaging, the telescope takes pictures for a very short time, that is, just a few milliseconds, so that the disturbances caused by Earth's atmosphere can be bypassed. With the help of Gemini North's 8.1-meter giant mirror and the Alupec instrument, scientists took thousands of such pictures and combined them using a special algorithm. This allowed the intense brightness of Betelgeuse to be removed, making it possible to see the faint glow of Sivara. This picture was taken on December 9, 2024, exactly at the time when previous studies had predicted that Sivara could be found at its farthest point. While this discovery has a 1.5 sigma confidence level, scientists typically require 5 sigma so that the discovery can be considered completely confirmed, although the location and timing of Sivara matched the predictions of previous studies. That's why scientists are considering it almost confirmed. Currently, Betelgeuse is a red supergiant star, and there is no doubt that it is in the final stage of its life. It is only 10 million years old, but its massive size forces it to burn its nuclear fuel much faster. But it burns its fuel. Scientists estimate that it will explode as a supernova in the next 1 million years. But Sivara's future might take an even more dramatic turn. Sivara is so close to it that Betelgeuse's gravitational pull is slowly drawing it in. Sivara is expected to be absorbed by Betelgeuse within the next 10,000 years. Or if Betelgeuse becomes a supernova before that, it will be completely destroyed. It's a strange pair. One star is at the final stage of its life, while the other star is just being born. But neither of them has much time. Additionally, gravitational interactions between Sivara and Betelgeuse impact Betelgeuse's rotation and mass loss. This helps us understand why Betelgeuse rotates so rapidly and why its outer atmosphere is so unstable. The discovery of this companion star, Sivara, will help scientists understand whether other stars like Betelgeuse also have such companion stars. This discovery could also help in understanding spectroscopic binaries, that is, pairs of stars that are so close together that it is difficult to see them separately. Scientists can next observe Sivara more clearly in November 2027 when it reaches its farthest point from Betelgeuse. At that time, we will once again gather information about this star using instruments like Gemini, North, and Elope. This will not only confirm Sivara, but will also help us learn more about its mass, temperature, and its orbit. Betelgeuse has always been a center of attraction for astronomers and ordinary people alike. Its red color, massive size, and its place in the Orion constellation make it a shining jewel of the sky. But the discovery of Sivara has made its story even more exciting. A massive star and its tiny companion are performing a cosmic dance together. And this dance is not only unraveling the mysteries of Betelgeuse, but it's also giving us a chance to peer into the depths of the universe, and nature itself gives us these opportunities. Understanding and knowing it is truly the beauty of nature itself. National Aeronautics and Space Administration's James Webb Space Telescope is an extremely powerful telescope which allows us to study the atmospheres of distant planets in great detail. Using this very feature of the telescope, scientists have studied the planets present in the transiting planets and planetesimals small telescope star system, which is considered the most popular and the biggest contender for potentially hosting extraterrestrial life. Actually, this star system, located about 49.5 light years away from Earth, is a large stellar system just like our solar system. It has 7 planets orbiting the red dwarf star transiting planets and planetesimals small telescope 1. In fact, some of these 7 planets are even located in the Goldilocks zone, or you could say the habitable zone of this star, which greatly increases the chances of life developing here. A recent research report has revealed many things related to the existence of life here, which have even surprised the scientists themselves. Stay tuned to learn more about research on the transiting planets and planetesimal small telescope star systems inner planets. Hello friends, you are watching Rahasi Television Space in today's video, so let's get started. The publishers of this report are quite frank. That's why the very first line written at the beginning of this report broke the hearts of many optimistic people. The authors of this report write that there is a strong possibility that these planets do not have any atmosphere. Also, the conditions present here may not meet our criteria for supporting life. But apart from all this, there is still a lot here that will surprise us. So let's turn the first page and move forward in this report. Well, these planets orbit their parent star, TRAPPIST-1, so closely that their temperature remains above 500 Kelvin. That's about 230 degrees C. This temperature is so high that you could even bake a pizza on it if you wanted to. Apart from that, before the James Webb Space Telescope, studies have also been conducted on these 7 exoplanets with the help of the Hubble and Spitzer space telescopes. And even then, there were some very important elements related to the presence of an atmosphere on these planets. Because it is thanks to these that it becomes possible to break down even the finest segments of the atmosphere. Compared to its predecessor, Webb has the capability to observe microparticles with 400 times more clarity, which enables it to do so, to observe the wide ends of the cosmos. In this context, scientist Thomas Greene, who is working on this research assignment, commented on Webb's performance. In the initial phase, he tried to detect traces of atmosphere on these planets using the mid-infrared data from this telescope. In this context, he studied the light impact of these planets, but unfortunately, no evidence related to the atmosphere was found here, and the reason for this was these planets. They orbit too close to their parent star. As a result, there will be a sudden rise in the planet's temperature, which will never allow a high-pressure atmosphere to develop there. The same thing happened with the planet orbiting transiting planets and Planetesimal's Small Telescope 1. Due to extremely short distances and excessive heat, there was no atmosphere present here. However, when they couldn't find anything through this method, they started their investigation using a couple of different instruments. In this process, they created a thermal signature of this planet, which included details of the mid to long wavelength radiation coming from it. This was a thermal study of this planet. Image further. The researchers say that when this planet was passing behind its star, James Webb detected a blended light. This included the light coming from the day side of the planet as well as the light from the star itself. Based on this calculation, the temperature of this planet was also determined further. The team working on Webb's data also prepared the presentation of a comparative study. In which we can clearly see the transiting planets and Planetesimal Small Telescope 1 also. Not only did we find out the exact temperature of the planet, but our observational instruments and scientific competence also set a new milestone. A team of National Aeronautics and Space Administration scientists working on this project said that it was a challenging yet amazing task. Taylor Bell, who is a postdoctoral researcher, when he analyzed this data at the Bay Area Environmental Research Institute, he said that the most significant thing in this entire research assignment was almost negligible. It wasn't even about detecting the brightness change. Rather, it was also about completing their research while keeping in mind the complicated orbits of this star system. He said that our biggest fear was this. This was also successfully accomplished by the scientists of this planet. Well, leaving aside these technicalities, if we talk about the results of the study, this new revelation has also given birth to many mysteries. With the first method, the atmosphere on TRAPPIST-1b has already been detected, according to which the on-ground situations here are so harsh that life could never be possible here. But at the same time, some scientists, out of their curiosity, are planning to conduct more research in this star system, thinking that maybe this could be connected to extraterrestrial life. Tracy, they might be found on the outer planets of transiting planets and Planetesimal's small telescope. One, because due to the greater distances, most probably the temperature there is quite low.